Good morning and welcome to Money Wisdom, sponsored by Johnson Brunetti. I'm Natasha Lubchenko. We're teaching you smart ways to manage your money, and here with expert advice is Eric Hogarth, certified financial planner and Johnson Brunetti partner. Eric, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Nice to see you, Natasha.
Great to see you as always. So we often hear that the debt in this country is out of control. A lot of people have it. For those who are struggling, are there ways to manage this and still retire successfully?
Yes. A lot of them, the average American is going to use debt. You hear about, good debt and bad debt. Most people, certainly if you're starting out, you're not buying your house in cash. So a mortgage is an example of good debt. If you're looking at education, most people are taking out student loans. But then, of course, the other side is, credit card debt, which can just be, a massive stressor for people and seem insurmountable. So you need plans around it.
Right. And debt is such a triggering word. So it's interesting you say good debt versus bad debt. So let's go through some of the ways to manage our debt if we have it. First, you say to prioritize which debt to pay off first.
Yeah. First of all, talk about this stuff because there's people out there that can help you with it and people can get discouraged. And certainly credit cards, you can successfully use a credit card. But if you're the person that kind of has debt on there that just sits there every month, the credit card company loves you, but those are designed for you to pay interest on that forever. And that's assuming you're not even charging anymore. So you have to look at what are the interest rates you're paying. If you want to buy a new couch and you have 0% financing, you probably should take advantage of that, but you have to be diligent about paying it off versus a credit card charging you 18%. They don't ever want you to pay that off. So you need to develop a plan around how can we get these higher interest rate cards or debts paid off quicker.
Yep, very important to know. And now, what about this one, Eric? You say it's important to develop a financial plan that includes paying off debt and saving for retirement while still in the workforce.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive that, well, I've got to be saving and I've got to be saving. But if you're working so hard, and it is hard to save for retirement, to put money in this bucket, and you have this massive hole in the bottom of the bucket, where money's flowing out of it quicker than you're putting it in, and that's this debt. You've got to take a look at what you're doing. So you need to be saving for retirement, but maybe for right now, and it takes that, diligence and discipline to stick with it. Maybe we have to prioritize paying that debt off first, because maybe you're spilling money out of that bucket faster than you can put it in.
All right, and how about this one? Build and maintain an excellent credit score. Always, it can't help, it can't hurt.
You need really good credit. I remember the time, short tail, but it has stuck with me all these years. I went to UConn and I went to Blockbuster Video. Our younger viewers won't even know what that is, but I did. And I rented a video and just absentmindedly, I guess I dropped it off at the wrong one. Next thing I know, it's about a month later, my mother shows up at UConn and she says, we're going to Blockbuster, and she kicks me off their Blockbuster account because I somehow triggered a collection notice because I stole this video and never paid for it, which of course I didn't. But that was the first time my mom really taught me on credit. You need good credit because you will want to take a loan to buy something. And if you don't have good credit, you're going to need a cosigner. And if you don't have one, not a good place to be. And there's not enough education for younger folks on that. But your credit score is massively important. It's the difference between getting a great loan on a house and a horrible one.
I remember Blockbuster, Eric. That's a great lesson that you learned. But they should bring Blockbuster back.
I kept it concise. Oh, Blockbuster. Yes. They should have had a better system.
Good memory. All right. And last one, Eric. To manage debt, you say retire debt-free with the possible exception of a mortgage.
Yeah, that's one of those things. When I'm talking like this, or we're talking on the radio and you're trying to give general advice, and the reality of financial planning, it's not general, it's specific to you and what your comfort level is. So when someone comes in and says, well, you should never have debt in retirement. Well, that's not true. Some people shouldn't, some people should. Recently interest rates have gone up, but I remember talking to a client about a year ago and they're like, Eric, I'm paying a 3% interest rate on my 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Is that too high? And it's like, oh my goodness. My parents tell me about their first house. You're paying in the teens. You're paying 10%, 12%. That's good debt. Maybe it does make sense. And if you're the person that says, I don't want any debt, then you shouldn't have any. But certainly talk about it because you have options. And a lot of it has to do with taxes.
All right, all important tips here. And what special offer do you have for us today, Eric?
So it's called the 5 Retirement Planning Missteps to Avoid. You can get it by going to moneywisdomtv.com. As always, it's absolutely free, and I think it's really helpful. But, as I often say, you don't know what you don't know. some knowledge and education could never hurt. So again, go to moneywisdomtv.com, and it's mistakes to avoid. And if you don't know what the mistakes are, they're hard to avoid. So, go get it, read it, and I hope it helps.
All right, seems like a great offer. Thank you, Eric Hogarth from Johnson Brunetti, as always. And again, if you would like to learn more and to receive this offer, go to moneywisdomtv.com. For CT Style, I'm Natasha Lubchenko, and we'll see you next week.